whatever the ticket is to come here. And so that, we're in the back in the Proctor Theater. This is inside the library. Look at that. The question, why would you take those buildings down when they were for the ages? You could not, they're indestructible.
Office at Penn Station, New York.
I've never seen a police in Newark have an Audi as their car. That's pretty cool. That's wild. That is a sweet car to have as a, I'm sure you know there's probably a reason behind it. Maybe it's a civilian car undercover, but interesting nonetheless. You know, I know they've been building up Newark for a while now, but check out this structure. It's Ironside, Newark, and it's right, to give you an idea, it's right near the Prudential Center. I didn't even know about this place, but it's pretty massive. Looks like, I don't know if it's mixed use. That's a good message. The other message a little strange. So I didn't know about this. Just come right here and look. Got some ice skating. And check that out. They have like a little cart so you don't have to fall. I like that. This is the Festivals United Newark. It looks like a winter festival, and they have, you just saw the ice skating rink. So I didn't know anything about this. There's food trucks back there. There's vendors. Pretty cool, right here in Newark. Again, I've never been this close. I've been in Newark City Hall, but I'm gonna get close. Look at that beautiful gold dome. Let's go get closer to it. So this building's connected to City Hall via this very curious pass through. This is the post office. Just look at the magnitude of this building and how awesome it is. Got it kind of covered up with some netting for maybe some updates. But you have the Eagles there. But to take you into the street scene, across the street, of course, you have police headquarters. And look at that. Solid. It's almost like you have new technology here in this old time of the past. Because if you go right down here on Federal Square, it's almost like, it's almost like you took two different dimensions and melded them together. Because you got that newer technology, the Federal building. This really reminds me of the pictures from the New York, like the gangs in New York, and the buildings. But I'm discovering all these, there's really a lot of culture here, and people doing their own thing and making things that are old new again. And it's crazy because this is, we're in the winter. Right here, of course, you would expect it to be really quiet. And it is. And what's interesting is there's a Devils game going on, and people are parking. I see them walking all the way from here to get to the Prudential, but look how it changes right here. You have the Federal building here, which is huge. Well, right here, you have the square. You can see in the background, you can see the City Hall, the dome, beautiful. You see you have a little green spire here on this, what's gonna be a church. But you have newer, and then you have this, which, just look for yourself. I want to get a front door like this. I think it sends a message. This is now is the Episcopal Church, Grace Church in Newark. Just look at the architecture. Right on Broad Street. Unbelievable. 1848, I think they're saying. Now look, say you live in this apartment building here, which is definitely people in there. You have the Grace Church Parish House. You look out your window into this, little atrium, so to speak, or this little courtyard, and you have the church. You have a view of this mystical world. And this church really wasn't even on my radar for today. But it's undeniable when you go to see it. You just can't turn away. Look at these windows. And look at that. Looks like copper. We're both on video. I'm videoing this church and they're videoing me. Wow. Now look at this scene. You have, of course, this building on the left, and then right to the right of it, there's a building with like something on top that has all this inscriptions and engravings, and some windows with ironwork. And then look all the way to the right. It's going to be small. I'll try to zoom in. You have a New World architecture. That's a glass building. I want to go check that out. Right in bustling Broad Street in Newark, you have City Hall. The research says this was constructed around the time of 1902. And we're just taking a look. You can see from the street the magnitude. What I think is always really interesting is we call these anachronisms of time, where if this thing is from 1902, look at all the other architecture that is new. Or not even architecture, but something like you have the heating and cooling systems, like air conditioners. You have, which always struck me is, look at all this beautiful engraving and stonework, but then we just have a city hall. Like, it looks like, I don't know, it looks like some, I don't know if that's metal or not. Check that out. Look all the way up. No entry. I hope you feel like you're here. It was a little colder than I normally want to do, but this is worth it. Look at the windows. They're huge. So normally I say I've never been to some of these places, but that is not true, because I worked in Newark for about 10 years. And I ended up getting 1 or 2 tickets here, which required me, or didn't require me, but I went to City Hall because I tried to fight the law. Well, the first ticket was due to, I actually was pulled over because they told me I made a legal right turn onto Market Street from Raymond Boulevard, which I actually did not. I was actually innocent. But it didn't matter, and the judge was actually annoyed that I wasted the court's time, so I ended up paying that ticket. So, note to self, is your time worth whatever the ticket is to come here? And you know what, I'll tell you, during that time, I didn't think twice of any of this. It was just an annoyance to me to be here. The second was a parking ticket that I think I was legitimately parked, not legitimately, but someone never ticketed the car. I went again, note to self, don't do that. Just pay the ticket, you're gonna lose. But if your time is less worth than the money, then go for it. Mayor Kenneth A. Gibson, 1970 to 1986. How cool is that? It's an entrance, still ornate, very beautiful. Just to give you an idea, we're still on the street. But look across the street here when you're not even looking for it. What is that? Look at that white structure. Try not to get run over here, but this is an establishment called Aisle 15. But look at this thing. Tell me what this is. Look at that, I don't want to call it chimney up top, but it's that spinning brickwork with that red brick. Look at this window here. And I don't know if this is faux art or structures on here, but it's really so interesting. Look at this. Is that gutter? Is that copper? Or maybe get a better look at this. But if you're here, it looks like they just took a new building and just attached it to this old world building, which is, this is a place here called Ellie's Bistro Wood Oven Pizza. Doesn't look old world, so to speak, but it smells so good. I may end up coming back here, but again, if you're in Newark, these are places, I mean, I definitely would check all these places out. All right, onward. So check this out. This is stuff that I always look for now. Right behind me, look above. You see that looks very old and maybe it was painted over, but I'm gonna show you, look on the edge of it where the building, whether the next building material, like in this case, it might be vinyl. But I bet you if we peeled back that vinyl, you would see more of this. And this is right on Broad Street. So you can see where you are. And there goes that big glass building. And heading up, that's towards Market Street, and the Prudential Center on the right. This is something I was not expecting to find. I didn't even know this existed. This says New Jersey Central. Looks like a railroad station or that's what it seems like. New Jersey Central, ornate. If you read the medallions, it says Central Railroad Company of New Jersey. So I do a lot with rails or trails. I'm wondering if this is affiliation with the Central New Jersey Railroad that goes all the way up through Union County. But just look at this. It's hidden in plain sight. I would never looked at this. Nothing going on here. Even the metal work. And look here, just nuts to be able to, the detail right here. Some more underneath that eave. You're looking at the surviving Beaux Arts facade of the Central Railroad of New Jersey's Newark Broad Street Terminal, the western end of the CNJ's Newark and New York branch, which ran from here into downtown Newark to CNJ's Communipaw Terminal in Jersey City. I want to get closer here because this is something I want to see closer. It's going to be tough because of we're in the street, but if you look here, it's on Broad. All the tops of these buildings, if you look, this is going all the way towards Market Street, which we all know was known, I believe, as the Four Corners. Prudential had some really huge structures here, but look at some of the remnants of the architecture at the top of these retail buildings. Like, look at that with those little spires. There's so much going on here. I just kind of put my life at risk here by walking here, but it's okay. I think hopefully they're not gonna run me over. You got the Howard Savings Building there, but towards Market Street, you're gonna have, you can see it's the newer Fireman's Insurance Building. There's a GameStop under there. But just gotta give you a frame of reference. I'm gonna cross the street. I probably shouldn't do this because I actually need to go back on the other side. I wanna get a better view of this, but if I get too close to it, I'm gonna be all the way too close. But just look up top. But it's a Saturday, it's before the Christmas holiday. It is really busy out here. And if you go down that alley right there, it's gonna bring you to Prudential Center, Edison Place, so you know where we are. All right. This is crazy. I've been wanting to come to check this building out for a while, or many of these buildings, although I'm not gonna be able to, but if you're into explorations and abandoned places, so you're probably going to recognize where I am right now. But I want to get a closer view of this building here. And this particular wasn't on my radar, but after seeing this, I don't know how it wouldn't be. So let me cross the street, and I'm going to flip the camera and check this thing out. Now it's interesting because it has like that Mayflower feel to it, so who knows when that was put in. But the building itself, look at the top. And then of course the New World, you have that glass building over there and everything else that you see. Busy, busy, busy. Still see Devils fans showing up here. I wonder if I should get on one of these bird scooters. It might do less walking, but oh yeah, Hobby's Delicatessen. I've had food from there many times. Never knew paid attention. So yeah, Halsey Street. So that we're in the back, but that is the RKO Proctor Theater. What's left of it. If you look in front, that would be Market Street. But yeah, there's a lot of explorations where folks come in here. I'd love to go in there, to tell you the truth. It'd be a little obvious right now, although I'm not sure anybody would care. But if you go, there's other videos online that people have been through here, and it's, again, the theater, the architecture is phenomenal. But yeah, to get in there, you'd be doing all that. And it'd be like a video game. It was like what was the game? Remember the game called Pitfall? Think of that, falling through, maybe not alligators, but you might fall several feet to your death. Like for example, if you're not paying attention right here, and a bye-bye. All right, so today's one of the days I thought it was gonna be cold. My better half said, you better wear some long johns. I didn't, but I was right. I didn't need them because it's not windy. And also, I'm so happy that I'm just able to walk freely through here and just explore on this beautiful day. It's gonna snow later. All right, I'm gonna try to get closer to this next building, which I think you're really gonna like. Well, it depends. If you like old stuff, you may not like it. If you like new stuff, you might like it a lot. So let's get a little closer to this one. All right, we got pretty close. This is what they're calling the Halo Tower, and it is the tallest building in Newark, and it's off of Washington. There's actually going to be, I believe, another building called the Summit Tower built right next to it, which will probably be here. But this thing is huge. I'm thinking, you know when you get like new windows and they still have stickers on them? I think that's what's going on here. The only thing I would remark about this, and I hope they figured this technology out, is that it's not good for birds, or generally it's not, so I hope they figured that out, but it is quite a structure. Onward. Being here on foot and exploring is way different than being in a car, or just, there's so many things you're going to see that you wouldn't see if you're just driving by, or you're trying to see cool stuff and stop. You're driving, so you can't always see it. But I'm telling you, there's a lot going on, and I'm coming up on Market, and it's exactly what I'm going to show you. This is so, I've been here so many years, driving past, doing work here. That's behind, this is the Bamberger's building. Look at those windows. Look at those, I don't even know what you call them. They're like feathered, or I don't want to say Gothic, but fantastic. And here, now you can see the front of that Proctor Theater, which of course is in disrepair. You wonder if those were, you see a light fixture in there, of course, but was it powered by something else back in the day? You definitely get an energy here of the past. I mean, I want you to see, it's walking through here is I could take you here all day, all night. There's so much to see. Let's see where else we could go. Talk about a juxtaposition of old and new. The Halo building and the Proctor Theater. So you know I always have a lot of stories about working in Newark. So many of you may not know that this old Bamberger's building, which is 165 Halsey Street, saying the placard says it was built in 1912. You saw the building, there's more to see, but did you know that the lifeline of our telecommunications, actually a lot of it lives in this building? It's like a telecom hotel. I spent many nights and mornings here, and I have a funny story. I don't smoke, but some people I worked with did, so they'd come down to take a break out here. And what happened one night is we're hanging out right in this corner, and what we saw was right here, a car comes rolling up to this corner. So it came right rolling up here, and there's no one in it. Well, there was, a guy jumped out, I guess. But I guess he might have stole it and let it roll, and it just kind of rolled aimlessly and kind of stopped. And it stopped right in the middle of the street. But when we went close, the guy I was working was a younger guy, and he went exploring, running into a car. I'm like, stay away from that thing. I'm like, it's a stolen car, conked out. But I could see from the distance that there was like, you know, a screwdriver or something stuck in the ignition. But anyway, man, this place is full of surprises. There's a guy relieving himself behind me, and anyway, onward. We could try to zoom in on this building, but this building is it's on Halsey and Bank and Academy, but look up top at all the intricate work. I gotta maybe see this on Google Earth, but I wasn't even on my radar. And look at this other building right across the street, this reddish brick. This is solid. You're really not gonna believe this. So I'm just walking down. I want to go to the Four Corners, which was talking about Market and Broad, but I was stopped at this lovely person here, and she told me, you can't walk through because they're shooting a movie here called Here Comes the Flood with Denzel Washington. So I took a video. I think he's in it. We're going to see, but also kind gentleman here, DJ Greg Perez, helped me get he actually sent me the video, so we'll try to show it. This young lady is really doing a lot of work trying to get people not to come into this filming area. But this is a Netflix movie, so I can't get that close to the Four Corners, but we're close enough, and this is what we call serendipity, a happy accident. So.
Oh, there he is. Oh, shit. Denzel Washington.
Commerce Street, and just by walking around you could see some of the ornamentation, and this is like a gold trim, but I worked for a long time. I worked in Newark, and you guys are probably getting nauseated by me saying that, but look at this is a building I worked in for many years. There's a truck in front of it, but this is 24 Commerce. This is all the gear they're using to shoot. I don't want to get in their way, but I just wanted to show you the front of Commerce Street. I may not be able to do that, 24 Commerce. But again, another building, solid, ornate. I don't want to get thrown out of here, but I'm just going to show you 2 seconds. Now, if you're a historian and you know Newark really well, help me out here. 24 Commerce, this building, this is a true story. I knew I was friendly with the building management after working there for a few years. And a fellow took me in the basement and he showed me something. And it was tile work in the basement. Really in good condition. And it was black and white, and what we would know was swastikas. And it made me think, I was like, I don't know what to think of this, but it makes me think if it's older than we thought, who knows what it really was? If you know anything about it, you can't find anything online, but if you have information about 24 Commerce and the basement tile, I'd love to hear about it. There's one of these trucks for the production behind me, but check this out. This is a place that was open briefly and I worked here, and they made these awesome beers. But they were high alcohol content, so you can maybe have one, but if you have more than that, it probably wasn't good, especially if you had to drive, for example, or even walk. But look at this. What do you call this? Look at this. It's right on Commerce Street. And I don't think anything's been in here for over 10 or 15 years. So on Broad Street, it says Griffith, but get closer look. Look at the top. And look along the building to the left. At the top, you can see the original architecture, and then it looks like they put a facade. Still looks really pretty presentable. But yeah, now we're going to something I really wanted you to see. More and more than anything, but all the stuff is really fascinating. Well, look at that church right there. All right, check this one out. This is the First Baptist Peddie Church. It says it was completed or finished in 1888. But look at this amazing architecture. It's like a fortress. Let's see, get a little closer. Solid. It's massive. They're still shooting the movie with Denzel down there. Look at this structure. You can see the dome has been refurbished, but look at the face under the dome. Super interesting, if you know what style that is. But look at the size, look at the masonry, and look at the size of these stones. And here you could see in the windows, the original windows, or maybe they're glass, but to the left, it looks like they were filled in with more stone, maybe over the years. This one is, again, I walked past this thing for years. And just to tell you the truth, I never stopped because really, at some point, I don't know if this was always in service, but there would be people hanging out, unsavory folks in front of the place. I don't think they were parishioners, so to speak. And look at that. Look at that staircase or a fire escape. That's wild. So it's like a brownstone directly connected near the church. Give you another look. So we're directly in the back. I don't know if this is a structure that was attached to the church, but look at those windows. Of course, there's mini splits here because there's no way you could heat or cool these things back in the day, or if you could, I don't know how. They didn't have fireplaces as far as I know. But you might know. I shouldn't say I know, I don't know. But now they're using mini splits. It's another view from the side. So you tell me, see how the red brick on the right, is that an additional structure or did they facade over the original? I don't know, it's wild looking though. You're right on the street with me. The mysterious ages of old here. And here there's a YMCA, of course, on the left. Funny story, when I worked on Broad Street, I actually went to the gym in the basement there, and it was fine. I used to go before work. I was one of those people. And I don't do that anymore. Well, You can see it's getting dark now, which means I've stayed out too long, according to some people, not according to me. But I could keep going, but I'm gonna tease you out a little bit. I'm gonna do a couple more little spots here on Broad Street. One of them, again, I used to work near here, and I never paid this stuff any attention, never. But I did look at this place. It says Bulgogi Zip. I don't know what this is now. It looks like a Asian restaurant. This was a really cool diner. And I know because the owner of this diner also owned something here, which is, I'll call it some kind of anomaly, the Little Theater. And if you know, you know, but I'm gonna show you a little closer. The Little Theater, and if you look at that little keyhole up there with the mosaic. It's in this architecture. And this was a certain type of movie theater. I've never been inside of it. But if you know, you know, but the Little Theater is an innocuous name. Not so innocuous content, but let me see, I could show you. Maybe, this is so old. This is probably, whoa, give me a second. This is inside the Little Theater. Exclusive New Jersey showing, 3 first-run films. If you can read those, good luck. All new, they're not even on there, but now showing. All right, I don't know what the future has for the Little Theater, but it is no more. See, but the architecture is quite unique for here. It looks like they shimmed in these huge buildings around it. Or I should say this is shimmed in between them. But this was here first. 550 Broad. So they call this the Walker House now, but this was, we're right on the Lombardi and Broad. But you can see this is a huge building. I knew this as the Verizon building back when I was around, but I did some research. This is a really fascinating building. New Jersey, Ma Bell was in here, or what we would, we know as the phone company. But let me go show you. This building has a really fascinating story, and I don't have it in front of me, but just look at some of the facade here. But this is a telecom building, and a lot of history to this. I'm sure you could tell me more. It's, we're here, just take a look at the ornamentation here. But evidently this was redone at some point. There's a web page, I'm gonna post it probably. It's a Harriet Tubman Square. This is gonna be the last part of this journey today, I think. Maybe. Who knows? But yeah, behind me, you can see some iconic buildings, the IDT building, which is interesting. That's, you can see that with the flag from the other side of the Passaic River. You can see that in The Sopranos a lot. And here I have Seth Boyden statue. I'm walking, but this is a little enclave in front of me of some really fascinating historical and another time and place. There's so much. 33 Washington Street. Anytime I see a 33 on a historical area like this, I'm always extremely curious, if you know why. But yeah, 33 Washington Street. I'm gonna cross the street here. I want to show you a stroll around here. So the company Audible bought this cathedral right here on Washington and turned this into an innovation cathedral, innovation place, which is wild. I mean, it's, talk about, whoa, he's spreading salt. See that? We're expecting snow if I didn't mention it. But yeah, imagine working for Audible and being in this cathedral. And you can see there, these towers. I'm guessing there were spires on there originally. Looks like they would have been. Yeah, imagine working at the Innovation Cathedral. I love it. Now, if that's not enough inspiration for you to be creative, or you can maybe summon the technology from the past. And look at me again. I'm taking a walk through time here. This is on Essex and James Street, but I could be on a set of a movie from the past. It's, you know, if I ever had the way, I would love to live here for a little while or buy a place, or I'd like to dream. Yeah, this is, and I think a lot of this is Rutgers campus owned. Oh man, I'm running into stuff here. It's like, this is a blast from the past. This is amazing. Let's gamify some of this videos. I just walked on this street, just turned, and you can see this is a really interesting building. See all the windows that are covered, filled in with bricks. And at the top there's a B. But I'm always fascinated with, look at those doors, those arches. They're so big. And then they just fill them in with, you know, normal sized people doors. But yeah, we're actually behind Washington. I don't know if this is University Street, I think it is. But it's just completely another time and place back here. And I could see there's a lot of college students walking around. I hope they appreciate this, but if they were like me, they would have no idea, and they're just trying to figure out how to do their studies and live their lives. All right, so you're gonna witness this real time. I'm gonna put this over the wall and see if we see anything. We should be behind the Ballantine house right now. This is a little discreet building right on the corner of Central Washington. I think it's part of NJ. If it's not NJIT, I mean Rutgers. Yeah, Rutgers. But there's no shortage of these buildings, especially on Washington. Now, across the street, that's another one that I can't tell if it's refurbished, but that is spectacular, the windows. And that is right next to the Newark Museum. So a lot of times my attention would be in a Newark Museum, but this structure is quite fascinating. Look at those windows. And look at the size of that door. And you can tell they retrofit the door, it looks like, in there. And next door you got the museum. Not heading into the museum today, the Newark Museum of Art, but I was recently, and it is fantastic. So check it out. You could spend the whole day in there. Well, right next to it, we're gonna walk past. This is the very old house. You could see, they say it's all original, of course, but a lot of this, of course, has been refurbished. It's still fascinating, still beautiful. The good old Ballantine house. Now, when I was younger, I used to know about the only reason I knew about Ballantine was if you're a Gen Xer, there was, well, you don't have to be Gen Xer, but in my old neighborhood, and it's still around, they used to sell Ballantine. It was cheap, and it had, there was a puzzle on the cap, and there's a Beastie Boys song that actually references that. If you know it, let me know. But yeah, we could spend another day here, but Ballantine, it's interesting. Yeah, it's really cool. so much going on here. I generally would ignore something like this because I feel like I don't like to be told, but I have to look at it now. So, but all it is definitely making more construction. So inside the pillars, I didn't even realize this was live music, but it is. And I'm gonna just walk in, I can see. Free public library. This is inside a library, but look at the detail of the architecture here. Sorry. Sorry about that. It's amazing that you could come in here. You should be. It's a public library, but look at the detail. I mean, I wish I had a better camera to show you, but it's everywhere. The arches. That is unbelievable. So I walked up to the second floor just to get a better look, and maybe without those lights, but look at the ceiling with that. And I could tell you right here, it's a real deal. Looks like Santa's come to town in Newark at the public library, and I got to tell you, this is really heartwarming. The library is jamming right now. It is. I don't want to get them on video, but if you look around, this place is packed. They're having like a little book fair, but look at the architecture in here. It is. This place is extremely. I got to be quiet, but I'm just super impressed by this. So you got the original insurance building here, which I showed a little bit. It's so close to it, so it's hard for you to see. But and then you have the post office, which the post office, excuse me, not the post office. You have the public library, which was, I have records saying it was 1898. So that's a popular year for a lot of this building and infrastructure. But what I think is funny here is this place is so amazing. Like, look at all the detail that went into this, the size of it. Look at that copper, the patina, and all that detail. And you have that, looks like, I know who that is up there. It looks like maybe Ulysses, or I know you'll tell me in the comments that I'm wrong, but that's the vibe I get. But what I wanted to mention is you have this banner on here, and it reminds me of the movie Idiocracy, where they just slap stuff on and spelled wrong, and it's just very weird. It's like somebody told me one time, the reason they didn't, it's like putting a bumper sticker on a Bentley. That's what it reminds me. And here's a better look at the insurance building. You could see this when you're driving anywhere. It's so recognizable because it has that tower. I don't know if there was originally a spire or something on top of it, but check it out. On this overcast day with snow about to show up. But you're on the street scene here in Newark, Broad Street. A lot going on today. Shall we go see what that is over there, that pointy building? I think we shall. The traffic patterns here are so nuts. I mean, you have the light, and the sign, but You really have to like look 3 times. It's common sense, right? What do we have here? North Reformed Church. We have it saying that's erected in 1857 AD. And take a look up there. Quite a structure. I'd love to have a front door like that, or like this. Look at that. The birdies. You got this little green community, but let's be free and walk back here for a second. I'm walking on these stones. But looking here at the windows, you can see they put plate glass over what the originals may have been. Makes sense. I don't even know how you make stained glass, how you manufacture it. But now we're back here. Looks like this could turn into a Charles Bronson movie back here, so I might just hang for a minute and look. Yeah. You're on the street with me. I have no real reason to do this, but there's a really super skinny alley here, so I figured why not walk through it. And there's actually, someone threw down rock salt in here already. It may not stay this way. Oh, I know where we're coming. Going behind this garage it's Atlantic Street. And I hear the light rail coming. We gotta do that one day in the subway. The Newark subway, that is. And yeah. Kind of put myself further than I wanted to be, but it's all right. Oh yeah, and here's the IDT building from the behind. This is inside the Walker House. Pretty cush. I have almost no legs left, but I found a place. Actually, one of you folks suggested this, a fellow named another Mike. But this is called Newark Local Beer, I think is the name of it. It's a brewery. And I was just gonna walk by, but I am in the thick of the brewery, and it's right on 550. It's actually part of like the Walker House, and I'm gonna try out one of these delicious beers, and then I'm gonna head out of here. That's the plan. But yeah, definitely check this out. I would have loved this when I was working here years ago, but I'm here now. So whoever, if you're working in Newark or living here, I'm definitely happy for you. You got a lot more options than we did about 10, 15 years ago. Sláinte. It's very good. The Washington Park Medical Building. Again, this is another beautiful, beautiful building. I mean, I wish I had a bedroom in one of these windows, and I don't know, yeah, facing east, maybe get the sunrise, or in the west, the sunset. But look at that, that's just amazing. And I'm gonna show you something down the rain here, excuse me, can't even talk. So you get a mixture of things here. And we're running out of sunlight because we're having a good time. Okay. Veterans Administration Building. And you could see the timeline here. But I used to walk past here and never thought anything about it. I love this. Look at this right here. Let me get away from this vent. Look. How cool are these? I don't know if they're like griffins but that's real. I mean, how long has this been here? It's just wild. Through the ages, I guess they've been painted and etc. But Veterans Administration Regional Building. Massive structure. They got a package. That's interesting. I wish it to its final destination. But here. And the size of these windows. Again, I can't get over these. I don't know if they're cats, but they're like dragons or griffins, but that's. If I walked past here every day, I would just probably play with these things. They're so awesome. Didn't even, this is solid. I mean, that really looks like what I would see when I was in Rome, and it's here. So we're gonna have another out there story for you. This is a bar here called, you'll see its namesake in a second. This is the Kilkenny's, which was a place we would go to all the time when I was working here. And what's, a coincidence or serendipity is that also happens to be my mother's maiden name. And we had a lot of good times there. We had, holiday parties. It was a place, you'd come to get a pint. It was fond memories, but it's no more. It is no more. And we're heading down Halsey Street. I'm gonna cross over because Halsey Street is another street that takes you through these dimensions. And let's see if I can fit through here. And you'll see as I walk by, I would love to spend some time here, just living here. Just look at it. And they've shot movies here. I remember I was having my lunch one day and I saw a movie. I think Beyonce was in it, but she wasn't. She was playing, wow, it'll come to me. It was something about a record movie in the, like Motown or similar. I'm gonna butcher this, but I met the lead guy who was also Boardwalk Empire. Anyway, I'm not good with this, but it was really cool. And they had this all set up. So you can see now with Netflix coming to buying up Fort Monmouth in New Jersey, that's the name of the game. They're gonna create content, and content is king. So think about New Jersey as a very diverse place in many ways, but think about, you could be at the beach or in the city or in the mountains. You could be anywhere in minutes. So they're going to take advantage of it. I think they're going to be very, very successful. Of course, Netflix, it's not a, how can you, Netflix is not something, it's not a gamble at this point. But you could see the movie with Denzel that was shot there. They come to Newark, but check this out. If you know, let me know in the comments if you know the movie I'm talking about. I'm all over the place with this, but yeah, and you go through the old history here, and shall I say, old world, and then you come right into bang. It's all completely new, like this. And this is the back of the Whole Foods, and there's this beautiful glass building, and then the Halo building, and you have all that. So if you ever watched the Star Wars, I guess episode 4, whatever, the original Star Wars that my dad took me to, do you remember when they were being pulled in with a tractor beam? That's what's happening here at McGovern's, and I'm being pulled in here to take a look. But another interesting thing is my grandfather on my mom's side, Patrick Kilkenny, he actually played in here. He used to play accordion and saxophone. He was quite the musician.
What's up, Bob? What up?
Definitely a big upgrade. Places reminds me, definitely get the vibe when I was in Ireland, of course, but that's the whole point, right? Nice Irish pub. Good times. Onward. Gotta give credit where credit's due. The Newark police have been all over the place today, making sure things are happening smoothly, including looking out for pedestrians. They are actually very proactive. You can hear it in the background. There's a lot going on, but again, one of my favorite places, the Bamberger's building, also behind me. I'm running out of light. It is so loud here, but wow, that's loud. I got about 15,000 steps in, and I still have to walk somewhat to the train station, but I'm really happy to do it. I was also going to tell you that we're going to end this video essentially at Four Corners, which is Four Corners is it's a very significant place. So to my right over here, and I'm going to show you some of this. I'll try to show you some of the references, but check out Old World Exploration on YouTube, and check out Old World Exploration Newark, and check out his video. And he shows some pictures of Four Corners way back, and the Prudential buildings and the architecture, and compared to now, and it just makes you ask yourself, why would you take down those buildings? They were immaculate, they were ornate, they were really, really, really well built. So why would you do that? Why would you do that? That's my only question. Why would you take those buildings down when they were for the ages? You could not, they're indestructible. And we're walking up right to it now. So here we are. This is the Four Corners. And it is really, really, even, I'm gonna turn it around, but the Four Corners is amazing. So, excuse me, whoa, I'm being a menace here. Right behind me, there would have been a Prudential building or whatever the building was back in the day, but let me take a look around here. This is the Fireman's Insurance Building. Everybody knows as the GameStop. Actually, it's weird, it's not even there. GameStop's gone too. But look at that. But that was a second installment. But this is the Four Corners. And here you would have saw those, I'm gonna try to bring up a picture of this, but it's insane. But why would you not want that here anymore? That's all I'm asking. And I think most of you know that earlier on, this is where they shot the movie with Denzel Washington, the flood, Here Comes the Flood. But it was right here. But hey, come on down here. Check this place out. I love it. And loss of words. The Paramount Theater. So now, folks like my friend at Old World Exploration, they say, look beyond these awnings, because the awnings are cool with the neon, but look there if you could see. Look at that craftsmanship. Look at the art. Look at that face. It's like almost a Greek or a lost of words here. The like Greek gods or mythology. But look here, and it's nothing now. I hope they don't knock this down. And you probably saw this in things like I think it was a Joker. Architecture is almost being hidden. And again, you see here, so it's gonna be dark, but I wanna show you because I walked past this so many times, and I think it's really, really intriguing. And it's right to the left here of this fish market. I give this fish market credit. They got some pretty cool mirrors with stained glass, keeping into the, so here we go. Oh boy. All right, we might not be going down this, but I do want to see it. I'm going to keep it away from, pardon me. I know I don't always appreciate being videoed against my will. I don't really do anything about it, but oh wow, look at this. Oh, so they they're busy tearing stuff down, but we're on Beaver Street. I love that name. But check it out, this is like dystopian. Do you ever see Kubrick's, what was the name of, Kubrick's movie? It was the war movie, I'll remember in a second. This reminds you of the set that he did, and that was actually shot in England because he wanted it. They built a whole set in England to make it look like Vietnam. There's actually a car coming down here. Full Metal Jacket, wow. Took forever to remember that. But the reason I show you that is because I want you to go and look at it, and you can analyze and say, what was that for? And why was that gable there or that door? But this is 18 Beaver Street. And again, I would live in here. Like, well, actually, there's not a lot of sunlight here. But I know it's dark. It's gonna be hard to see. Beaver Street, 18 Beaver Street. And then, of course, you have 24 Commerce on the Clinton side up here. All right, I better get out of here.